for measuring disease activity in systemic lupus erythematosus, better known as SLE. The company announced the Fast Track Small Business Innovation Research Grant is from the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, a part of the National Institute of Health. We anticipate that the test in development by Progentec will support clinicians in selecting optimal treatment plans, adjusting medication dosing, and measuring outcomes for lupus patients. Assessing a patient's disease activity is fundamental not only for selecting the right treatment for the right person, but also for determining if an individual is responding to treatment. These determinations can avoid unnecessary rounds of treatment. The most widely used disease activity measure for SLE, both in research and in clinical practice, are versions of the SLE Disease Activity Index, better known as SLE DAI, including the SLE DAI-2K and the safety of estrogens in lupus erythematosus National Assessment, better known as Selena SLE DAI. However, these methods require clinicians' assessments, a subjective measure, and cannot predict how the disease will progress. Research has shown that SLE DAI-2K misses nearly 2 out of 3 patients with clinically meaningful changes in disease activity. The data show the need for more sensitive measures of disease activity for this patient population. Progentec has been working on a new biomarker-based platform that offers multiple tests to manage various aspects of the disease, including diagnosis, disease tracking, and flare prediction. The grant will be used to validate the biomarkers and methods used in Progentec's disease activity test called AISLE-DX, Disease Activity Index. The project will be led by Melissa Monroe, MD, PhD, and Eldon Yope, PhD. The test is expected to be available by the end of 2019. Being able to accurately measure disease activity may aid in better use of therapies, recruitment of patients for clinical trials, and measurement of responses to treatment. The grant is part of NIAID's mission to conduct and support basic and applied research to better understand, treat, and ultimately prevent infectious, immunologic, and allergic diseases. Given in 2 installments, the initial award will be $225,000. The grant has the potential to reach $1.7 million. Progentec has worked to identify relevant lupus biomarkers and methods of analysis. This grant offers an opportunity to validate and prognostic value of these tests. The technology company is developing a biomarker-based test called AISLEDX, Lupus Diagnosis Index, that is designed to diagnose lupus before patients develop symptoms. Another test under development by Progentec, the AISLEDX Flare Prediction Index, aims at predicting the onset of flares week in advance. And this concludes Lupus News for the week. The information you heard has been provided by Lupus News Today. You can find them on the web. And next week, we'll be discussing the top reasons for hospital admissions in lupus patients. He is the author of Positive Energy 24/7 and his latest book, It Was Destined, Urban Legend. He's Detroit's own author, Henry Long. To purchase an autographed copy of his book and to purchase his ebook, go to WritePath247.com. That's WritePath247.com. You can also follow him on Instagram at WritePath247. Abundant Harvest Aquaponics, planting seeds to grow food and creating opportunities for people and families. You can contact this nonprofit organization at www.abundantharvestaquaponics.org. If you would like to appear on an episode of My Story Living with Lupus, you can contact us at mystorylivingwithlupus@gmail.com. Also visit us on our Instagram page and also our website, My Story Living with Lupus. I had to go and grab my cup of tea with honey to try to open up my airways. I'm having a little difficulty when I speak. It feels like my lungs are tightening up on me. But hey, I got an appointment this morning with my pulmonologist to see what exactly is going on with my lungs now. I don't know if it's because of the weather when it got really hot and I was struggling a little bit. But yes, I am having a little trouble speaking where I have to catch my breath at times. I've been sipping on water while I've been doing this podcast, but it's getting a little worse. But hey, I want to ask you a question. Do you believe in yourself? Really? Do you believe in yourself? Well, see, if you believe in yourself, take on your challenges. Dig deep within yourself to conquer your fears. Never let anyone bring you down. Hey, I know you're tired. I know you're physically and emotionally drained. You know, that moment when your muscles ache, your stomach is in knots, your breathing is shallow, your mind is a little bit weak, and all you can think about is giving up. Well, we all fall down. But falling down is an accident. Staying down is a choice. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to get up. I'm serious. I want you to get up. Get up, but never give up. Stay in the fight and keep going. As my mother and father used to tell me, you may get down, but you get up to fight another day. I'm Susan Hendricks, your host, and I thank you for joining me on this episode of my story, Living with Lupus. If you want to connect with me personally, you can go on IG and connect with me at I am Lupus. Thank you to all of my new listeners and all of the new subscribers that are on my Story Living with Lupus.com website. And thank you for your DMs that I have been receiving. So what I want you to do is have a peaceful and relaxful weekend. And I'll see you next week for another episode of my story, Living with Lupus. The views and opinions expressed on my story, Living with Lupus podcast, represents each person's individual experience. By listening to this podcast or reading our blog, you agree not to use this podcast podcast or blog as medical advice to treat any medical condition in either yourself or others. As always,